So I think on the domestic issues and the global issues, it's a clear choice. But here's the thing that's most important to me. A lot of people made fun of me in 1992 when I came here and people were flat on their back and they were hurting, and I said, I feel your pain. And a lot of cynics in the press made fun of me. And a lot of my opponents in the Republican Party made fun of me. They acted like it was some phony deal. But I didn't have the easiest upbringing. I did feel your pain. I knew what you were going through. You need somebody in the White House who never forgets about you. And it's easy to forget when you're president. You fly around on your own plane and it's a real nice one. They play a song every time you walk in the room. You don't even have to push the buttons on your own elevator. People wait on you hand and foot, and you can be isolated, and everybody's reluctant to tell you bad news. And it's just easy to forget that there's a whole world out there of people with hopes and dreams and fears and problems and enormous possibility. You want somebody in that office that won't forget. So, here's the most important thing of all. Hillary just went to the State Fair in New York, and I didn't get to go for the first time in 7 years because I was taping Oprah's show for this book I've got coming out next week. So I read all the newspaper columns. The head of the Farm Bureau in a little county in upstate New York saying, big Republican county saying, all I know is I've always met with her face to face, I've looked at her across the table, and she has always been true in our dealings together. That could be why she carried 90% of the counties in New York that President Bush carried in 2004 and got nearly 60% of the vote in the Bush counties running for re-election. Because she has always been true. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine from out west called and asked me if I would take him to play golf at a nice golf course near my home. And I'm not running for anything. I can play golf. I can do that. So I took him and his two friends out. We got a caddy because they'd never seen the course before. We play the first hole, the other three guys walk off, I'm walking off, and for the only time in my long life, a caddy reached out and physically restrained me from walking off the green. He said, wait, this may be the only chance I have to tell you this.
It's on.
He said, you don't know me, do you? And I said, no, sir, I don't think I've ever met you. He said, that's because I'm not really a caddy. In my real life, he said, I'm just here supplementing my income. In my real life, I am a captain in the New York City Fire Department. And he said, on 9/11, that terrible day, when we went down there to do our duty, and some of us to die, and we were breathing all that stuff, your wife knew immediately, that many of us would get sick and some of us would die because of what we breathed, doing our duty on that day and the days after. And she began to fight for us on that day, and she never stopped. And when the government denied repeatedly for months and months and months, over a year, that anything could possibly have happened to us because of what we breathed that day, she just kept standing up for us. And what I want you to know is that some of us who would have died lived because of her fight. And those who died, at least their families, can live in greater dignity because she fought for us, often alone. And he said, you know, before 9/11, most of us firefighters, we thought we were Republicans. We liked all that tough talk and everything. But when the chips were down, she was there. He said, my dad was an Irish immigrant butcher from Staten Island. We need somebody in the White House that thinks about people like us, that doesn't forget. He said, I'll never forget what she did, and I will do everything I can to make her the next president. And so should you. Thank you very much.